This is Psalms 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Haloim La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that's scattered abroad, the Akim and the Aquat that's listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson is edifying. It's the brother Shuab Omawan back at you with another lesson. All right. And going into this title. All right, here we go again. False flag. All right. Breaking news. All right, when I'm gonna play real quick. This was 13 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago. Which it was even longer than that. It's just a whole bunch of different shit coming out at the same time right now. So these are basically just updates. All right, it says 2 National Guardsmen in critical condition and victims of targeted shooting in D.C., mayor says. All right. And it says what we know so far. It says 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen who were shot near the White House are in critical condition, officials said today. Washington, D.C., Mayor Muriel Bowser described the attack as a targeted shooting. Okay. President DT tonight condemned the shooting as a heinous assault and an evil act, an act of hatred and an act of terror. All right. The president said that the U.S. authorities believe that the shooter is from Afghanistan, and he came to the United States in 2021. All right. Doesn't it sound familiar? All right. It sounds like at the time of, all right, when we was in 2001, all right, and buildings were collapsing, man. Okay. And we came to find out that that was a false flag, right? It says, meanwhile, the Trump administration asked the federal appeals court for an emergency stay of an order from a federal judge to remove the National Guard from Washington, D.C. Last week, the judge ruled the deployment was unlawful. All right. And see what's going to happen with this, right? Here it is. They're going to deem more terroristic laws. All right. They're considering this a terroristic act. All right. Which at the end of the day, who are the ones that they trying to deem as terrorists, you know, bringing out these scriptures, right? Our people, man, the elect, all right, the prophets out on these highways and hedges. All right. And when you look at these people that come from Afghanistan, man, they all got beards on their face. You know, this is how they try to, you know, deem everybody, all right, as a domestic terrorist at the end of the day. All right. And I believe through the spirit that this shit is bullshit. All right. And what they're going to do is try to set off martial law with this, man. Okay. And again, you know, they're bringing it out because this devil has to move quickly. All right. He trying to put this thing into motion, into play. All right. And what's funny about it is, let me make it make sense. Why is a false flag? All right. Here it is that these are National Guards. National Guards are one of the top, all right, top people in the military. Okay. Something I asked the chat before I did this video. All right, check this out. Give me a second. All right. Before I got into the chat, I asked Google, do National Guards when on duty, when they're on duty, do they have to wear, is it mandatory for them to wear bulletproof vests and bulletproof helmets? And it says, yes, members of the National Guard typically wear bullet restraint vests and helmets when in situations that require such protection. Now, remember, man, we're in the middle of high alert with all this shit that's going on with, you know, wars and rumors of war. All right, these people are already on high alert. Okay, here it is. This society is collapsing. Okay, so you know that these martial law troops, these National Guards, they all gonna be geared up from head to toe, like they've always been at the end of the day. You see? And it says, you know, yes, that the members of the National Guard typically wear bullet restraint vests and helmets. Now they said that these two people got shot a block down from the White House. All right, they got shot in the head. All right, now make it make sense to me. You see, not saying these things can't happen. All right, but just make it make sense for a second. We know that this devil's always trying to put false flags and try to find a way to bring in, you know, martial law and bring in his agenda. Okay, and for him to be lacking, as you will call it on the street, especially the National Guard, lacking that they don't have no helmet or no vest is impossible. All right. We're on high alert. Anything can happen at any given time in these streets. You know, people are in you know, in desperate measures. Okay. So I find it hard to believe that these people got shot in the head while they have all this type of equipment on there. All right. And you shot two of them at that. You have to go really out of your way to catch these niggas lacking on some other shit. You see? And this ain't nothing but Satan putting his damn you know, Esau putting his shit into motion, man. You got to make it make sense. Okay. It says in situations that require such protection, particularly in combat zones, high risk environments. All right. Come on, man. The White House is one of the highest risk environments always, especially the fact that Satan is casting out Satan right now and their kingdom is not standing. All right. You see that people, you know, the love of many is waxing worse because iniquity abounds. The love of many is waxing cold, you know. So why would he be running around without his you know, without his equipment on, without their military weapons, always being on guard? They teach you in the military to be fucking on point for everything. You see? It says or tactical missions. The specific type and amount body armor worn depend heavily on the nature of the mission and the assessed threat level. All right. And like I said, man, we're on high levels already of threats. Okay. Every single day. All right. This is I asked also just the chat just to see what the chat will say. You know, it said no, bulletproof vests and helmets are not universally mandatory for National Guard members at all times. That's nonsense. It makes no sense. Their use depends on the mission, threat level, and commander's orders. Okay, so you're gonna be guarding the White House, but not having on your attire, not having on your gear. How it works in practice: mission determines the gear. National Guard units perform very different roles, such as disaster relief, hurricanes, floods, and wildfires, crowd control, civil unrest. Yeah, we're in the time of crowd control. Is that not why you have all these National Guards in all these different states right now? 5 major cities, 5 major states for a reason. Okay, because of the civil unrest. You know, because of the crowd control, because the people are on edge for looters and things like that, right? It says border security. Yeah, you know, you're complaining about all these immigrants. So very sure, very much so that, you know, border security is one of the main things. Okay. It says combat deployment overseas. Okay, exactly. Do we not have our troops deployed overseas? All right, getting ready for all these different types of wars. So that means we're at high risk at every single moment. You see? And training exercises, and even as little as training exercises, which they do these training exercises anyway. Okay. And remember, Trump not too long ago said what? We have to worry about the enemy within. So why wouldn't you be on high alert? Why wouldn't you be, you know, girded up? All right. This is just another way to start, you know, Jacob's trouble, you know, to start picking whoever they want to mess around with. You see? It says only high-risk missions typically require ballistic protection. All right. It says when body armor and helmets are usually required, they are commonly mandatory when deployment in combat zones. Okay. Performing armed security duty. Okay. This is why they were around the the White House to begin with, because you're securing the area. You know, you're performing armed security duty, responding to violent civil arrests. Okay, which hey, we just read that up on the top one. Okay, violent civil arrests is everywhere. Okay, it says guarding critical infrastructure which act with active threat risk. Yeah, the White House is a critical infrastructure. You see, you talk about where the president is. Okay, it says and as a matter of fact, DT is in an active threat risk right now. You know, with all these fake ass shootings and him getting shot and I made it, and all America. You done got shot like 3 times already magically, you know, when you got things like, you know, what's his name? Mr. Kirk. All right. Getting shot up. Okay. Charlie Kirk, whatever his name is. All right. Why wouldn't you be guarded up? You see, make it make sense. Okay. It says, guarding infrastructures that are critical with active threat risk, operating in tactical environments. Okay, again, you're around the damn White House, man. It says commander issues clear orders requiring ballistic vest, a Kevlar helmet, all right, and other protective gear. All right, so for them to be shot in the head with all this gear, man, it sounds fishy to me. You see, and what they're gonna do with this, all right, they're gonna try to bring in more false flags, more, you know, more martial law troops. Okay, they're gonna turn up the heat in the furnace. You see, now you so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans, right, are gonna be even more on this damn devil shit list. All right, even though they're talking about it, someone from Afghanistan. All right, is gonna they're gonna deem him to be a terrorist, and now we're gonna have to be, and which I said that in a couple videos back. You know what I'm saying? With all these damn new people coming into offices that are immigrants, basically, you know, they're becoming mayors. You know, they're all from India. You know, they come from my what was it? They go back. I was doing the video on the Carminians. They go back to all being Carminians, man. Okay, so you have to look at the pattern that's being played out. All right, there's gonna be some type of inside job being done. All right, to make this pop off in a certain manner. Okay, and this is why trouble is coming for you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. All right, let's grab this. This is Jeremiah. All right, 30:4, and it says, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace. Okay, and we're in the time of no peace, man. All right, scriptures talk about, real quick, this is Ecclesiastes 3. All right, to everything, 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay, and we're in the time of, you know, it says, let me pick one of them. All right, we're definitely in verse 7. Okay, where it says a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. All right, the time of peace is gone. Peace treaties are being broken, covenants are being broken, but we're in a time of war. You see, the time of love is been gone. All right, the love of many is waxing cold. All right, so you can only be in a time of hate, and you can feel the tension between the people. All right, you got this damn devil. All right, DT done push the narrative of, you know, whites versus blacks. You know, not even blacks no more. You know, blacks and browns are the problem to society. They are the enemy within. You see, these are the time frame that we're in. Okay, you have verse 3, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. All right, yeah, these devils are in murder, death, kill mentality right now. You see, so they in the time to kill. They ain't in no time of healing. We're in no time of healing. You see, it says a time to break down and a time to build up. All right, yeah, because the Lord is building up his elect men. Okay, and this is why the devil's coming down on you with great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. He sees the tabernacle of David being built up. He sees how we are being lively stones out here on these highways and hedges, all right, and bringing out this word, all right. So it's a dreadful sound to his ears. So he's gonna always try to come up with another scheme, all right, another plan. Okay. Matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. This is Psalms 64 and 5, and it says, "They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?" That's what this is, man. This ain't nothing but an evil scheme, another trap that he trying to set him in motion, all right, and making people think, oh my God, 2 people from the National Guard got shot. Okay, again, make it make sense. These people are trained military warriors. Okay, one of the top notch in the military ranks. Okay, and you mean to tell me these niggas ain't have no bulletproof vests on, no bulletproof helmet on, and this niggas is just getting shot in their head like that randomly? Come on, man. You see, it says matter of fact, let's go from the top, right? From 2, it says, "Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked." All right, because they're all in secret. They're all secretly in cahoots with each other. All right, conspiring against us. All right. So you had David, all right, that was praying to the Lord, man, to hide him from the secret counsel of the wicked, because we can't make it out of here without Yahweh Shai. So this is why the Lord has commanded us to occupy till he come. The prudent man foreseeth the evil and he hides himself. And how we gonna hide ourselves? With these scriptures, with these words, all right, with these prayers. All right. It says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right. Yeah, this evil mob, these gangs, the real gangs of America. Okay, this military. All right, who whet their tongue like a sword, all right, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Okay, and right now, you know, because their tongue is falling upon them, all right, this is why they're making moves like this, which ultimately is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai putting that spirit on them to do it. Okay, it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Yeah, you Israelites. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And ultimately they're trying to shoot at the 1/3, man, because they could care less about these 2/3. They know these 2/3 is gone. They know these 2/3 are going to be dying off, man. But see, they're trying to get to the elect men, the ones that are preaching his word. All right, this is why they're coming out with all these different draconian laws. All right, because that great persecution is about to come upon us. You see, along with Jacob's trouble. You see, and now they're going to be able to deem us more of domestic terrorists. Now they're going to more of you're a hate group, you're a hate person, a person of hate, just like this, just like these Afghanis. You know, and the pattern is a simple pattern, man. That's the same type of people that were using in 2001 when buildings was dropping, man. And it came to find out that shit was all bullshit. It was all an inside job from your own government, you know, to the point where they had you believing that these niggas was sticking people up with box cutters. Are you serious? Okay. And then going back, it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. Okay. Yeah. You see, they devise these little perfect plans, you know, to be able to get at us. Oh yeah, we could get them with this one. We could get them with that one. You know, let's stir up the world. You know, let's make this look like this just happened. Okay. And again, here it is. You never get this info on the shooter, you know. Most of the time they die off somewhere. They done shoot themselves. You see, that's how you be knowing it just be false flags, man. Okay. It says, but Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. And all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahweh. For they shall wisely consider of his doing. Okay. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord Yahweh and shall trust in him, and all the upright in the heart shall glory. All right. Let's grab Psalms 10. All right, real quick. Psalms 10 and this is 5. It says his ways are always grievous. Okay. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all of his enemies, he puffeth at them. You see? And why he always puffing at them, at all his enemies? Because of stupidity like this, man. You see? Look what I'm about to do, you know? Watch how I'm going to get these guys right here. I dare them to go ahead and go, you know, and stir something up so I can stir it up even better. All right? It says, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Okay. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Okay. So, like I said, through the spirit, I feel like they lying on this whole, you know, this whole thing going on. Okay. Just another one of this devil's tricks. All right. Let me jump down to 9. As a matter of fact, keep going. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. All right. That's who he's got his eyes set on, man. The poor, which is us. He lieth and waits secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth and waits to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draw him into a net. Okay. Let's go back to Jeremiah 30 and 4. And it says, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For we have heard a voice of trembling and not of fear and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man does travail with child, Salakia. Wherefore do I see every man with his loins on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. All right. And that's the time that we're about to enter into, man, that Jacob's trouble. Okay? For you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, you 2/3 that didn't want to hearken on to this word. All right. And us being in the Lord willing, we are of the elect, us being striving for the elect. All right. We're going to be in the midst of all that, man. And we're going to have to, you know, have that spirit of a sound mind and not a fear, because the Lord didn't give us the spirit of fear. Shalom, sister. All right. So, you know, we're going to have to stay strong in the midst of all this. You know, we just got to continually watch, see what this devil's about to play out. Let's see what this devil's about to come with, you know, all his little tactics now, because they're going to make this a big issue. Okay. So, you know, we got to just, you know, let it play out the way the Lord plays it out at the end of the day. All right. And this is why 2026 is about to be wild, you know, and you know, we've been saying this for years. You know, people always come back. Oh, you've been saying that for years and nothing happened. Well, listen, this is why the Lord commanded us to continue to keep bringing it out, because what seems forever to you, all right, to us that's in the spirit, man, days are shortened up. The days are shorter and shorter every single day, you know, so we could feel it through the spirit. We're closer and closer. Okay. So, you know, stay girded up at the end of the day. As a matter of fact, let's grab that real quick. This is Ephesians 6. All right. And 10. And it says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord Yahweh Shai in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. You see? So having on this armor, all right, we're able to stand up against all the strategies of this damn devil. You see? All the strategies that he got under his sleeve. Okay? It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, meaning demons, all right, against powers, all right, and rulers of darkness of this world. Yeah, the evil rulers of this world, the top banking families, man. All right, the mighty powers that rule the world. It says, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to stand. So like, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Okay. And right now, all right, we have to be in the spirit of Ephesians 5:15. Okay. See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Okay. So being circumspectly means to be what? All right. To be constantly on your toes, man. All right. Exactly, accurately, diligently. All right. When you go into that root word, all right, it goes into exact, careful, you know. We have to, it says of the strictest sect, the most precise and rigorous in interpreting the Mosaic law, all right, and observing even the more minute precepts of the law and tradition. All right, yeah, we got to be meditating in the word more than ever. Meditating in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai more than ever, because the days are evil, man. There ain't nothing coming around 2026 that's going to get better. Just like we've been telling you since 2020, when the first pandemic hit, that it was only going to get worse and worse. And every year, if you look at the pattern, every year has been getting worse and worse, more and more violent, you know, more and more draconian laws. Okay. And it hasn't been a stop to it. You know, it's just constant bad luck. The only reason people look like they still having a good time is because you got stupid ass Facebook and Instagram, man. You know, and because you have those type of social medias and people only post their great lives. Okay, that's why it looks like things is all right, but it's not. That's why these last, I would say the last 2 years of social media, now you've been seeing the people's faces in tears. You know, you've been seeing how people have been hurting, how people are desperate, you know, and that's a beautiful thing to see. Okay, so let's go back to hold on, back to Jeremiah and finish that up. All right, Jeremiah 30:7, it says, "For alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." And Salakia, that's not what I was on. I was in Ephesians 12. All right, 13. Where take Ephesians 6:13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the spirit, which is the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the spirit, watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all the saints. You see? And as a matter of fact, you know, going into Luke, the 21st verse, right? Let's go to 34. All right. 36, it says, "Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man." All right. And everything that's in these scriptures, all right, every jot, every tittle, all right, is going to be fulfilled. All right. Whether they like it or not, man. All right. This is Matthew 5 and 18, and it says, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot, one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled." Okay, I tell you the truth. Let's grab that in NLT. I tell you the truth, until heaven and earth disappear, not even the smallest detail of Yahweh's law will disappear until its purpose is achieved. Okay. None of these things are going to return unto the Lord void. All right. Every single thing is going to come to pass. All right. And this is why the gospel is being preached throughout the four corners of the earth and enter into the ears of the world, man, because the end is about to come. Okay, this is lucky. This is Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. All right. So, hey, let's see how this plays out. Let's see what this devil got brewing up. All right, with this little bullshit false flag that I believe. All right, through the spirit. All right, and regardless if it ain't or not, all right, it's still warnings. These are the last warnings that the Lord got for us, man. At the end of the day, the last little bit of warnings that He keeps giving you, because the doors on that spiritual ark is about to close, man. Literally, it's about to be sealed shut. All right, and those that got this word, hey, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, may He protect you and your households and your family. All right, and those that didn't, well, hey, the day of doom is here for you. Okay, many great miseries ready to come upon those that walked in great pride. All right, because you wanted to, you wanted to think you had it all, right? You wanted to think that everything was all good. All right, this is Second Ezra 7 and actually it's 6. This is that. 1 second. I think it's 7 and 34. The Day of Doom, KJV. The Day of Doom. Yeah, 70. It was 43. I said, yeah. Second Ezra 7 and 43. And it says, but the day of doom shall be in the end of this time, and the beginning of the immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. All right. But the point is, the day of doom shall be here in this time that we are living in right now, man. All right. And this is why we have to be girded up more than ever, being circumspect, because the days are evil are upon us, man. You see? So, hey, Lord willing that you were edified. So, with that being said, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kol Holoim La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered abroad. The Hakim and the Akwat that was listening in. Yahweh Ratazah, Lord willing that the lesson was edifying. To the next one, Shalom. Keep fighting the good fight of faith. Doing as good soldiers of Yahweh Shai, staying girded up at all times, redeeming these times because the days is evil. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Barakatah.